The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find. The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style.
Hello and welcome to the Hilton Fireman's Carnival. I am at one of the main spots here on the grounds. This is Pickett Popcorn, and I'm with Jeri Pickett, one of the operators, with his Uncle Todd. Jeri, it is great to be on site. The waft of the popcorn is amazing.
It is amazing, Mike, and thanks for having me.
And Todd will be joining us at times because they're bebopping in and out. Today's Friday. Talk about Friday, what this Friday 12 to 2 is meant for.
So from 12 to 2, every year the Fireman hosts the Carnival as a closed event just for the firemen's children, as a thank you to all the workers for their volunteer. And I'm not sure if they still do it or not. We'd have to check with the Carnival grounds chairman. But it used to bring in kids from the homes for an opportunity for them to enjoy the rides as well. So it's just a nice little give back to the people that have done all this great work.
Now, last night was parade night. How was the parade, if you were able to watch it, and the work in the parade with popcorn?
Well, parade night is always a really interesting night because you get people from all over the county that come. I did not get a chance to see the parade itself. I heard there was a ton of fire trucks and a few bands. I think the parade has gotten a little smaller over the years, but still, I heard it was a really nice parade. But the best part for us, though, is that the bands usually come in. So we have the drum corps comes in here and they're playing their instruments and heading into the zoo, and you get a lot of people. There used to be somebody that came from Fairport every year just to try our popcorn, and so we always enjoyed that, and it's always a big night for us. Yesterday we were just a little bit under average. We've got our records over here, and we were running about almost $50 short on average.
You talk about the records and the record keeping. How many years has the stand been in operation?
We don't know exactly when it started, but my grandfather, Todd's dad, started doing popcorn up at the old fire department when they would host Friday night fights, and he would serve popcorn off the back of his pickup truck. And that eventually, when they started the carnival here in the 30s, they opened up a stand, and we've got photos here of the old stand. And they've been selling popcorn here. My grandfather, Vernon, my great-grandfather, Frank, then my dad, Richard, and then Todd, myself, and my aunt, Gail, who's since passed, and my Aunt Mary, also who's passed. But everybody, and there's a lot of other people that have helped support. My cousin Tricia still supports, and we're trying to get some of the next generation in here as well. But this has been going on for 90 years. And it is a sacred recipe that most people, I'm not personally a popcorn connoisseur. I like popcorn, but there's people that absolutely love this stuff, and they brag about it and come here every year and keep telling us how much they love it. And it's only 4 days a year, and that's it.
4 days?
Not kettle corn.
4 days out of the year for Pickett Popcorn. I was on my website, my YouTube channel, and a lady had made a comment and said, when you go down there to the Fireman's Carnival, you got to stop by Pickett's Popcorn. She made a special point of putting your popcorn. Now, you talked a little bit about it's a special recipe. I don't want you to reveal anything, but you showed me a little bit earlier, and due to my technology and the lack of it, talk a little bit about what goes into making a batch.
It's actually pretty simple, and the secret really is coconut oil. I'm guessing my grandfather and great grandfather were the ones that originally. Yes, we've got cans hanging all around the stand of years past. We use it for storage, but the coconut oil is heated, and it's important that it's done in a stainless steel popper. The stainless steel popper, during one of the floods, we lost our original popper, which is here, and it's really a historic relic. But we had an aluminum popper one year as a substitute, and the popcorn was horrible. It was flat. It just did not have the same taste, believe it or not. So a stainless steel cooker is important, and it actually gets seasoned. And then with the coconut oil and just a little bit of salt, that's all it is. And so I had several different people yesterday stop by and say, "So how much butter do you put in this?" And I'm like, "No butter." And they're like, "No way." And they said, that they're have allergic reactions or issues with butter or dairy products, and so they were able to indulge because it's just coconut oil. And I will also say, many years ago, it was kind of said, that food thing goes around. It's good for you, it's bad for you, it's good for you, it's bad. Well, many years ago, coconut oil was considered bad for you. But now in the current movement, in the health movement, coconut oil is actually recognized as good for you. It's a good fat. So this is a good thing. It's healthy. It's good for you. It tastes well. And the community apparently loves it. 90 years of success.
Okay. I want you to send your Uncle Todd over for a little bit.
Sure.
And we're going to talk to him, and we're going to bring you back again as well.
You got it.
Thank you. And again, there's going to be Todd Pickett coming over. He's Jeri's uncle. He's been working the popcorn stand right now, and it smells delicious. Todd, great to have you on the Big H podcast.
Thanks, Mike. Glad to be here.
All right. Now, I want you to go into a little bit about the Pickett family and their history in the fire department.
In the fire departments.
Start off with,
Not with the carnival, just in the
fire department. And then you can delve into the carnival as well.
As much as I know, my grandfather and my father go back to my grandfather back to the early 1900s. My father was born in 1918, but he was involved in the fire department as soon as he could be, probably in the early 30s as a young boy. And so fire hall used to be up on Main Street in the village, and it was there probably until the 50s when they built the new one on South Avenue here. And they were involved like right from the start, as soon as they could be involved. The one thing that both of them were involved with and very proud of is the fact that they started the ambulance corps. And I believe that started sometime in the late 30s or early 40s. And they were instrumental in getting that whole process going as part of the fire department. Other than that, they were both chiefs. My father was very involved on the international level as a fire chief, and was actually the president of the Eastern Association of the International Fire Chiefs. So that was his life. Speaking of life, the fire department was a small community in itself. So everybody knew each other. It was a really tight-knit community. They all watched out for each other. They did events together, and they had a great time. And I grew up with that. Trying to think of the word, but anyways, that's the way I knew the fire department to be. It's a little bit different now. The state drives a lot of it, so they have to do a lot more training. They can't have the fun that they used to have, that kind of stuff. But and then, of course, the carnival was an integral part because it's a major fundraiser for them. There is a fire district. The fire district is actually responsible for all the equipment and the buildings and stuff like that. That's paid for through our taxes, but there's a fire department, and that's the men and women that serve in the fire department. The proceeds from these events go to pay for all of their events that they have, their social events. They have their annual banquets. They have a party to celebrate the carnival, and they have a few others throughout the year. So that's really what the carnival is about. Taking care of the volunteers. So
today's a great day for that because it's free rides, free food, free drink for all those people. I'm going to get some pictures to put up on the Facebook page, but I'm looking here there's a September 9th, 2004, and then a water line from 74. Talk to us about the beginnings of the popcorn and then what had happened due to flood and the rebuilding.
Yeah, so I don't know what Jeri went into with the origins of this, But the way the carnival started sometime in the 30s. I don't know if he actually discussed that part of it or not. Sometime in the 1930s, mid to late 1930s. But prior to that, they had at the old firehouse that was on Main Street, which is now gone. But they had an addition on the back of the building that was 2 stories, and on the second story they had a huge room that was a bunk room for the firemen if they wanted to sleep there, or whatever. They rarely used that, but on Friday nights they would open up that room, take everything, push it off to the side, set up a boxing ring, and they would have boxing matches. Friday night, that was a fundraiser for them. That was prior to the carnival. My father and my grandfather used to sell popcorn off of the back of an old truck. They refer to it as a jitney, but that's what they did as part of the fundraiser. So it was just a natural when the carnival started that they would roll right into the popcorn stand. It was situated on the same location where we are, half the size, of course, very old and very rustic. But that's where, I actually spent probably the first, probably until I was 10 years old, in that stand. While my father worked, my mother was an auxiliary member, so ladies auxiliary, so she was right next door. But spent a lot of my time down here, in the early 60s, mid 60s. They doubled the size of the building. And then in 1995, they had to knock it down because it was literally falling down. And then they built the structure that we're currently in right now, on the same location, a little bit bigger footprint, but that's really kind of the history and where we are to today. There were a number of people that came through the popcorn stand, a number of firefighters. Russ Wright was with us forever. He was probably right from the very beginnings, as long as he was the same age as my dad. So they started in 1930. In the mid 30s, they weren't even of age yet. My dad didn't turn 18 until 1936, and I think Russ was around that same time. So but they were in here as soon as they could, and they were here pretty much the entire until they couldn't do it anymore. So, as well as my grandfather Frank did it. Oh God, into his 80s. So he would sit there in the corner, but he just loved being down here. But yeah.
Now, do you have your days and times that you are supposed to work, or you're pretty much of age you can pick and choose?
I would like to think that. It isn't usually how that works. Everybody gives me some crap because I'm usually here every day. But there are times when I would have like a golf event or something like that, but we're here on Friday afternoon for the kids. And in previous years, I used to play in a golf tournament on Fridays, so Jeri would cover it, or whoever would happen to be around. And then there were a few times when I would leave early, and so we do that. But it's primarily family that works this stand. The firemen are actually thrilled because this is the one stand on the entire field that they don't have to worry about. All they have to do is provide us with the materials, and we do all the work for them. So thankfully they voted probably 5 or 6 years ago to actually transfer the proceeds from the popcorn stand to the exempt club, which was very nice of them. Very, very good to do that, because the exempt club needs those funds. So that was a great thing.
I had never heard of the fights that they would clear it out. Now, was it the firemen fighting, or did they bring in professionals?
There were, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not sure if they brought any professionals in at all. I do know that my great grandmother, who was a very kind soul, she would take people in at times. And we had a gentleman that lived with her for many years. His name was Walter Smith, but we called him Jimmy. And great guy, just love him. When he moved to Florida, he was an electrician. He was in the Navy. He was an we would go down and visit him in Florida and stay with him and stuff like that. But he was probably all of 5'5", but he was, he was a scrapper. Yeah, so he was one of them. I know that for a fact. So where the others would come from, I'm thinking they were probably all local people, but what they may have brought in some others. I don't know, but yeah.
So this week, is it good for you too? Maybe you haven't seen people all year, and you're going to see them on the carnival weekend.
Some people take advantage of that more than I do. Yes, as a matter of fact, there are people coming down this year. They've already told me that we're going to have a little gathering in the beer tent area, probably tomorrow afternoon. We'll get together and meet up with friends. But yes, this is the one place that everybody knows you can go to and usually meet up with some classmates, if not a good deal of them. But and the beer tent is a gathering place, right? That's where everybody goes.
Well, the Pickett family is so well known that I had done just a brief podcast explaining the carnivals this week, and a woman commented in and said, "Before you leave, you got to stop at Pickett Popcorn. You're legendary." She moved out of the area.
Well, I'm sure Jerry's already kind of elaborated on that, but we do have people that come from far and wide, and they've heard of it, and they when they come down there, like, oh yeah, such and such a person told me about this. I got to stop and get some popcorn here, and I'm like, yep, absolutely. So I tell them to shy away from the first night for until we get things settled in and everything. The first few hours or so, or the first hour anyways, is a little shaky, but once we get going, it
like riding a bike.
As you'll attest to when you have some here, it's good stuff.
Oh, it's amazing. I usually get 2 bags on my way out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Well, Todd Pickett, thank you for joining me. I'm going to bring Jeri back. I forget the relationship. He's your
my
nephew.
My brother, his father, was again, and as soon as he was able to do that, he was working in here as well. He worked. Where did he work, Jeri? Where else did he work?
My dad?
Before he came in here.
Popcorn. Pop. He moved from.
That's right.
Pop to popcorn. All right. Well, Todd, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. And we're going to talk more in the future on podcasts with you. All right, Jeri, why don't you come back and join me for the ending segment?
Sure.
All right. Now just back to Jeri Pickett. And Jeri had a great talk with Todd talking about the spreadsheet over there, a little bit of the water line over here. As I bring you back over here, explain a little bit more. And I think what I'm going to do is take a picture of that and post it on Facebook so people are going to know what you're referring to. Talk a little bit about what's in that picture frame up there.
Well, so the original popcorn stand, which I think Todd talked about, was half the width of this. And then they doubled it at some point. I don't even know when, before Jeri, BJ. But probably in the early 90s, it had just reached the end of its life. And at the time, that stand, it had a pitched roof, and you'll see the pictures. But and they don't have any pictures of the inside, but it was just my childhood memory. You walked in here, and both my great grandfather and my grandfather were in here working with I think it was Russ Wright. But they had yellow lights, and then the floor was just covered in wood shavings, and it just had the most unique smell and aura about it. And then my grandfather and great grandfather and some of my aunts and cousins and stuff were also in here. So it was just this really family affair. And the one thing that's pretty cool too is my grandfather, Vernon, above the door had a paddle that he had there as a break glass moment in case there was any fights outside, that he had a paddle. He was going to kick some ass. But anyway, in the early 90s, they tore this down. The firemen tore it down and rebuilt it and have what we have today, which is a little bit more roomier with all the fixings that we've got now that make this more of a successful and more efficient operation for us to work with. And so you can see the construction and all the firemen that worked on it. Ironically, my dad, who was still alive at the time, was not in the picture. So I'm not sure if he was involved in the construction or not. I mean, he wasn't an active firefighter at that point in his life, but it was a new stand built in 1995 right here. So, and I will add, ironically, in 1995, I met my wife right there at the corner of that popcorn stand. That's where we met. So,
and you're still together.
And we're still together. So it's pretty unique. My life, ironically, sort of revolves around this popcorn stand one way or the other. So it's cool.
A couple more questions. Yeah. What's the allure of Hilton? You and I are Hilton through and through. Why do people enjoy this community, enjoy this Fireman's Carnival so much?
Well, first of all, it is supposedly one of the biggest carnivals, and all the other communities all have their carnivals and their events. But this one I think is kind of nice, centrally located between more of a higher suburbia towards Greece, but also more of the rural areas towards Hamlin. It kind of draws from all those areas. But we've also it's been run efficiently. The Hilton Fire Department is an amazing organization with tons of volunteers, where other departments have always struggled to get volunteers. I think Hilton has done a very nice job of maintaining that volunteer aspect. And so this whole carnival is all about the volunteers. Without them, this doesn't happen. So I think the whole thing and the success of it is a testament to the firemen and what they do here. But the Hilton community, and I think you and I spoke about this before, it's not about the edifices and, like, God knows the scars of the fires that have happened in this village. It's the people. It's a great, tight community. I'm on the Historical Society board, and the community, the people here, the things we've done, the amazing things our people in this community have done around the world, it all echoes back on what we do here together as friends and families, and my lifelong friendships with your family and you and everybody here, and so every year the carnival is just one big happy reunion. A lot of people come here, and it is basically a class reunion every year. As we get older, it sort of thins out a little bit, but there's so many people that come back here. In fact, there was a person that came back here, and I mentioned this before too, was at the carnival last year, who had gone away many, many years ago. And one time when they'd come back, they had said, "How can you still be here?" Well, last year when they arrived back here, they said, "You know what? I'm retiring next year, and I'm going to move back home to Hilton," because that's how much it means to people. Distance makes the heart grow fonder, and this community is everything. And of course, my historical roots go way deep into this community and multiple generations. So I got a special case, I think, here. But a lot of the other families here, and the Burritts and the Lissos and all them, same thing. So and those are the families that are still here doing all this to this day.
Well, Jeri, thank you so much for joining me on the Big H podcast, and I look forward to talking to Todd and you in the future. As you said, you're on the Historical Society, serving as the vice president. I think you encapsulated what the village of Hilton means so much. We thank you very much for joining me on location for the first time at the Hilton Fireman's Carnival. My name is Mike Hayes, along with Jeri and Todd Pickett. You can follow me on X, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you find your podcasts. Thank you.
The Big H Podcast, tune in now. Conversations that'll wow. Laugh and learn, stay a while. Let's explore that Hilton style. From the highs to the lows, every story just explodes. Mike's got questions on the go, diving deep from head to toe. Every week the guests align, sharing moments so divine. Stay with us, the pace is fine. Every episode you'll find